This is a brief introduction to XpertMart's Report Designer tool. Now this is a very powerful tool. It's the one that we use to create reports from scratch or to edit and modify existing reports. With this tool we can extract literally any combination of data that we need from the system, and we can show it in just about any format we want, including a matrix display. And we can include photos, logos, formulas. We can group the data by formulas. We can show styles in descending order according to margin, for example. So it's a very, very powerful tool. And right now we'll just get a brief introduction to some of its capabilities so that we are familiar with it, and later on we'll see some of the advanced features. Now keep in mind that XpertMart comes with over 250 pre-designed reports, and in addition to that we offer all new customers the design of 30 custom-made reports according to their specifications, and we also train all customers in the use of this tool so that their hands are never tied if down the road they want to create their own reports. So let's jump in and design a simple report to get acquainted with this tool. We come over here and click on the query button. The heart of every report is a query, or where we're extracting information from a database. Now when we click on the query button, XpertMart asks us if we want to do a multi-query or a simple query. A multi-query, as the name implies, allows us to do multiple queries at once. For example, we can extract the previous month's sales, also the previous month's stock levels, and previous month's receipts of merchandise. If we're not using multi-query technology, this is something that would take quite a long time, but as it is with this advanced technology, we can do it in a matter of seconds. However, we're going to jump in and do a simple report first to get our feel for report design. Now, first thing we want to do is connect to a database. Usually we'll be working with the same database, which we call, in this case, main. And once we connect, if we go over to the Tables tab and click there, we'll see that on the left we'll see every table that is in the system. Now every piece of information is stored in one of these tables. Now if we want to design a simple report where we see our styles, all the styles that we have in our styles catalog grouped by vendor, first thing we'll want to do is select the styles table down here, and we'll also want to select the vendors table. And once we're done selecting tables, if we go over to the link tab, we'll see how these tables relate to each other. And XpertMart's already done the heavy lifting for us, and we see that the styles table relates to the vendors table through the vendors ID field. Now this gets to be important when we're designing complex reports and we have a query where we're using 8 or 9 tables. It's important that we have a logical sequence between those 8 or 9 tables, and that all tables do in fact relate to each other. For example, if I want to know what vendor a certain item belongs to, I have to go from the item table to the styles table, and then the styles table to the vendors table. It's a simple example, but this screen shows us the relationships between the tables, and it can be quite useful to have XpertMart point out where our logic might be flawed. Now, a more advanced feature for each of the links between tables, we can also define whether they're left joins or right joins. This is a more advanced topic we'll get into later on, but I do want to highlight that option exists there. Okay, once we've selected tables and made clear the relationship between those tables, it's time to select the fields that we want to use from each table. Now when I double click on a table there, like styles, I get a list of all the fields that exist in that table, and I can choose which ones I want to appear in the report. Now in this case I want to take the photo of the style, I want to take the style name, the style price, and let me scroll down there, I also want the order cost. And if I double click on the vendors table, I can see all the fields available to me there. Let's keep it simple and take the name of the vendor, although I could include a lot more information such as the address and contact information. But let's work with those fields now. Next tab is a select tab where I can define certain parameters to filter out information. This is the query tool that we're already used to working with, where I could define show me only those styles whose price is greater than, and here I can say greater than $24.99, or let's go back and say 0, just to keep things simple. But here's where I could specify show me only certain styles and certain vendors. It lets me define those parameters, and of course I can always go back and change those parameters once I've designed the report. I can also sort the results, show in which order I want the results to appear. And I can also see what exactly is the SQL statement that XpertMart is creating for this report. Now once I press OK, my report is done. All the information that I've asked for is there. Now it's not a pretty report. It hasn't been formatted. But at any point in time I can go over to the Preview tab and take a look at what I have so far. And I see that all of the information that I asked for is appearing in the report. I have the photos of the styles, the names, the prices, the cost, and the vendors, although they are appearing in no particular order. So let's go back to the Design tab, and first thing we'll want to do is group the styles by vendor. So to do that, I come up here to my Group button, this one that looks like a G, and I want to create a new group, and I want to group by vendor. And once I do that, you'll notice that XpertMart automatically creates this group header over here. And let's pull this field out and make it a little larger. Let's take that up to a 16-point font. And let's give it a nice little green line underneath there. And we do that there. I see I need to pull this out a little bit. Now once I've done that, at any point in time I can go back to the preview screen and see how I'm doing. And I see now that my styles are grouped by vendor, whereas before they appeared in no particular order. And I can see those there. So let me go back to the design screen. So I don't need this vendor field here down here anymore. And let me pull the cost out over here, and the price. And the style name, let's make this field a little bit bigger. Let's make it a 14-point font, bold. And on the cost, right now it's just appearing as a number, so let me give it a currency format, and let's have our cost appear in red. And we'll give that a 12-point, bold. And we'll want to do the same with price. Let's also give it a currency format, and let's put our price in blue. And we'll want to also give it a 12-point bold. Let's move the cost over to the right a little bit, and let's make our price a little bit wider. When I go back to the previous screen, now XpertMart asks me, do you want to reuse saved data? If I haven't made any changes to the database, if I haven't added any data or modified any data, if all my changes have just been formatting changes, then if I put yes, this allows XpertMart to execute more quickly using previously stored data. So once I do that, I can see that the new design that I've chosen, the prices and costs now appear, the price in blue, the cost in red. If I think these are too close together, I can come back over here to design and say we don't need so much space for the name, and let's move the price over to the left a little bit and go back to our preview screen and see the changes as I make them. I can also come back and let's put a title on this report. I can put I can work with headers for the report, headers for the pages, as well as footers. And let's insert a title here. And let's call this Styles by Vendor. And let's make this an 18-point font, bold. Now I see I need a little more space here. And let's move that over to the left. And let's insert a logo. I can insert photos and logos in any of the standard formats, which are JPEGs, GIFs, and bitmaps. And I just need to find where I keep my these photo files, and come up here And let's put this logo over here in our report. And I can adjust the size of the logo. And if I go back to the preview screen, I see that I now have a title and logo up at the top. I can also see my report 2 pages at a time. Those tools right there. So what we've done is we've created a fairly simple report, but also an interesting report where we've specified the data that we want, and we've included photos. We've given it a nice format, have our logo up at the top, and did this all in a matter of minutes. Now, if we have a little more time and we know our way around this tool, we can do a lot more interesting things, such as create formulas and group our results by formulas and display the data in interesting ways with a photo and styles in a matrix format where we have size and color in the axes. But this gives us a good introduction to that Report Designer tool and some of the capabilities behind it. As you can see, it's a very powerful tool, and it gives us the user complete freedom in designing the reports that they need.